Hello everyone, this is Ann McDaniels with Show Business Report, and today I'm here with my great friend, Diane Yang-Kirk.
Hi.
Hello Diane.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm so happy to be here with you. It's
Well,
always a pleasure to see you.
Yay, and vice versa. So quick confession, I am brushing my teeth in my New York City hotel room, and I'm, in my zone, and I'm hearing my friend Diane's voice on the television, and being an actress and being in the acting industry together, I'm like, well, that's really no surprise. But as I got closer to with my toothbrush and crashed to the television, she's on a Lifetime show, a reality show called 7 Year Switch. I was in their wedding. So I'm like, what is going on? Stop the presses. So I immediately got on the phone with her, and we can't divulge anything because the show is still airing. But I wanted you guys to get to know Diana a little bit more because she's a wonderful person.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. I love you, Ann. And Ann and I have been friends for like over a decade or something.
Long
right?
time.
So, yeah, I think it seems to a lot of our friends to be a little bit of a shock that we were even doing this.
I couldn't.
So I totally understand your reaction.
Yes. And I love them as a couple, so it's like, what is going on? What can I do to help? I'll pay for therapy. I'll do. Let me be an interventionist.
It is always so generous and giving, and when she says that, that's totally actually
yes.
true.
I will jump out of a cake at your wedding again, whatever it takes. So, but I love them as a couple, and they're wonderful, and it's been such an interesting, segment to watch, and I'm a Lifetime lover anyway. What have you found thus far has been probably the best takeaway from the show?
The takeaway going into the show and also the takeaway leaving the show is to keep learning, to keep growing, to keep looking at yourself and ways that you can improve. So going into the show, that was my motivation.
Sure.
To see what I can learn, and anytime you can get some therapy and think about things outside of yourself. Like, I had so many discoveries that if it weren't for this situation, if it weren't for switch therapy, if it wasn't having been put into an extreme situation, I would have never discovered these things about myself, about my relationship, and just about people and about life. Coming out of it, it's just reminded me more and more to continue my growth and my path of self-discovery.
But you did that on camera, being
Yes.
vulnerable, which for people like you and I, and many of you out there probably, it's scary to show vulnerability. It's scary to show what we kind of term as weakness. Did you find that the cameras actually helped you because you were almost forced to look at yourself in that way?
A couple of years ago, through a wellness business that I have, especially, it was really highlighted to me, and also being an actor, that vulnerability and the ability to be vulnerable and show vulnerability is actually a sign of strength.
Which is not easy, but it is strength.
Yes.
And like you said, being complacent and staying in your zone, staying in your comfort zone is a lot easier because you don't have to, color outside the lines. It's scary sometimes. What if you look like an idiot, or what if you fail, but you only grow? And I feel you have grown from this experience.
Absolutely.
Particularly with, can we talk about an episode where you wrote a letter to somebody?
Yes, sure. It was a letter to my mom, and I have not had a relationship with my mom for a couple of years now. And going back to vulnerability, I think we come out of the womb, we come to this world, and we're bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and wanting to learn things.
Mm-hmm.
But we are taught through the environment, from our parents, from our family, and school, and just different sources, that we need to protect ourselves, and we build walls. And being able to take those walls down so that way you can both examine who you are and also show people the real you, that's where that strength comes from. And so this exercise was writing a letter to my mom, and I remember when
my stomach hurts. It really does.
When I got this assignment, I thought, oh darn, because I've been on this path of self-discovery, very much so, especially as a late teen into my adult years. I have read about writing letters to someone that has either felt pain in the relationship, or you've lost them, or if there's unspoken words, and even if you don't give it to them,
Right.
that in itself helps you put things down on paper. It helps you release. I knew it was going there, so immediately my eyes were just welling up, and it was a really, really intense experience.
It's my favorite episode, and I think that the partner that you were with for this particular episode was able to open up as well, even more, because you did.
Having a switch partner who really was open to going through an experience himself.
Sure.
I had no choice but to be brave and do it.
And you
go
did.
there.
And you guys were probably my favorite of all of them because you really were vulnerable in that episode. You learned another lesson, and that came to the episode where you had to do a wakeboarding experience with your partner. Tell us about that and what you learned.
Often I have found myself in especially in my adult years, or maybe even if it goes back to my childhood, to be a yes person, people pleasing. A lot of people
A lot of us can relate to that.
Of course, I didn't want to disappoint and not do this activity, which seemed like it was really fun, but once I got closer, assessing the situation and realizing that there are some risks involved, and this is a physical activity, and I'm a former professional dancer, and I have had plenty of injuries in my body. I know what it feels like to have been through surgery to rehabilitate a part of my body because of being careless or
and this
fearless.
Is your business. So you don't want to jeopardize that.
In my past, and when you're younger, you kind of think, oh, I'm resilient, nothing's going to happen, it's not going to happen to me.
Balls to the wall.
It'll be fine. And as a result, you pay the price.
Right.
And as you get older, I think you get a little wiser. And with that, I definitely learned that it's okay to say no. It's okay to stand up for what you believe, so long as it's not just about being bitchy. It's not just like, if you explain your reasoning, then most people can understand. And it's also okay for you to change your mind. I have always been a stickler about not being a flaky person. Of course, being a New Yorker and somebody who's from the East Coast, you can, I don't like to disappoint. If I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. And so in this, that was definitely a really hard decision.
Sure.
But ultimately, I learned that it's okay to say no, and it's okay to change your mind. And that has been really a great thing for me to be able to take forward in life.
That's wonderful.
And feel confident about it.
And she got this while filming a Lifetime reality show, which is pretty impressive.
And so much more.
Yes. So
Absolutely.
Please stay tuned to episodes. It airs on Tuesdays at, is it 10, 9 Central?
10, 9 Central.
10, 9 Central. Again, we are in the midst of seeing the episodes, which is why we can't say anything further. But my plan is to interview Diane and hopefully her husband that was on the show as well, good friend of mine, Reese Kirk. We shall see, but please stay tuned. And even if you don't, it's just interesting to hear the psychology behind the relationships, because I think we can all relate. And Diane herself, she's a tough cookie, I know, because we're very good friends. We're both extreme self-dignified type A's, which we weren't, which we wish we weren't sometimes. But I learned a lot.
I love it. I own it.
You do own it. I'm still trying to figure out how to not own it. But she learned a lot, and I learned a lot through her, because the first episode I saw, I'm like, everything I could relate to was about you.
That was the intention. Again, also through my experience, at least I was hoping to be able to share with others out there, and that's a gift. I think. I hope it is. Putting my life on television, being a real person. Again, sometimes people will say, "Oh, if you're an actor, actors." Who we aren't real people, that we don't have real emotions, that we don't have real situations and conflicts and relationships in our lives.
And if we play a murderer on television, we're not an actual murderer. I'm not that in real life.
No, you are not.
We're actually good people. No, say they're not.
But, being able to experience this for both my benefit and for the viewers' benefit was something that I feel very blessed, and I feel very lucky to have been chosen to do that.
Besides acting and being on the show, Diane Kirk has a wonderful show on her own, and she can teach us how to do something in the kitchen. Please tell us about that.
It's funny because in the show, I did cook a few times, and they didn't show it at all, but I have been cooking my entire life, and I have a cooking show on YouTube. The channel is Hoya Food and Cooking. It actually stands for Healthy, Organic, Inspired Asian. And so I cook all the different kinds of foods, but this is definitely a niche that I wanted to share with you guys, and it's a passion of mine. And so yeah, there's a bunch of really great episodes, and I hope you enjoyed it. It's an entertainment product. Even if you don't cook and you just want to see me goofing around.
It's very well done, and even in the layman's terms, like if you were in college, for example, you could do this because she really measures everything out and gives great instructions. It's a great show, so please tune in.
And I tell a lot of really bad jokes.
Haya. It's called Haya?
Hoya.
Hoya.
Yeah. Hoia. Food and Cooking with Diane Yang Kirk.
Wonderful. We will tune into that as well. Lifetime, Tuesdays at 10, 9 Central. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, this is Ann McDaniels with Show Business Report with Diane Yang Kirk. Thank you.
Thanks, Ann.
Yay!